Hello everyone, hope that you've had a good week. Welcome to the class today. So this is one of the Yamas again, it's the fourth one and it's Brahmacharya. And that means it translates as right use of energy, about not doing things excessively. It's about getting that balance right, so not too much of something, not too little of something. So we will think about that in our yoga postures today, and especially in some of the back bends that we're going to work towards. They're wonderful ones for just thinking about how we slowly can use our energy to build up to these. So for today's practice, you may need a bell. If you have got one, grab one. And any extra things that you need, padding or blocks, grab that. And then we'll start off lying down, so coming down to the floor and just finding a nice comfortable position. So lengthening out the legs or keeping your legs bent. And you can either just let your hands be alongside the body, or if it feels more comfortable, you can always let your hands rest on the front of the body. And allowing our eyes to close. And just taking a moment to check in, tune in with how we're feeling. And checking in with what's going on for us right now. So the things that go on in our everyday life, they can affect how we come to our yoga practice. So just be observant of that, maybe noticing your energy levels without judging at all. Just be aware, maybe you're feeling a bit tired today. Maybe you're feeling quite active, maybe the mind's quite busy. Just be aware of that. So we're going to cultivate in today's class about this balance of energy. So shoulders are nice and soft and relaxed. And relaxing the jaw. Relax the tummy. Just for a moment, let go of any holding that you might feel right now. Any tensing or tightening around the hips, just relax them and let yourself just be supported by the earth. So through our yoga practice, we can think about how we can conserve energy. It's about storing energy as well, so that we use it appropriately for whatever task is needed. Often when we have a lot going on, or there's lots of busy things in our life and we have to be here and we have to be there, and we try to do too many jobs, we try to multitask, then we get a bit of that burnout. We might have a bit of energy first of all and then it just completely depletes. So it's about thinking about how we can conserve our own energy. So we'll do that with breath first of all. So just be aware of the breath. Notice what that feels like. Notice maybe what's the longest part of the breath at the moment, whether it's the inhale or whether it's the exhale. And then begin to slowly breathe in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Just try to keep the body as relaxed as you can and just simply finding your own rhythm of breath now. So we know that with our yoga practice, when we can start to control this breath, we can use it for good effects. So for today, we're going to think about using it more to balance, to even out the energy through the breath. So we're going to add our simple count of 3. So as we breathe in, we're going to count silently to 3. And as we breathe out, again, counting that out to the count of 3. Breathing in for a count of 3. And breathing out for a count of 3. And just continue to do this in your own time. Try not to let any tension come into the body. Don't feel too strong in one part of the breath. You want to feel a sense of ease with this count, with both parts of the breath. If you're not feeling it today, then just go back to your natural breath. That will work just as fine. You may think about the pauses at the end of the inhale. You might just linger in that pause before you take that long, slow exhale. Same thing, you might linger in that pause of the out breath before you take that in breath. And just feel that with the breath that you're cultivating a sense of ease. You're not working too hard one part of the breath. You're feeling maybe a balance of energy, calmness of the mind, but also a sense of focus and clarity. We'll just spend a couple of more breaths from here. And then allowing that count to just release away from you. Let your legs bend and hugging the knees in towards the chest. And just taking a moment to just gently rock from side to side. So giving the back just a little bit of attention right now. And then placing our legs back down to the floor. Either keeping them bent again or lengthening the legs. Listening to what's right for the body at every moment of the time. So you're going to inhale, lengthen the arms behind you, back of the hands come down. And then breathing out, allowing the arms to come down. We use that count of 3 again. So inhale, lengthening the arms behind you, feel openness. Breathing out, bringing the arms down, feel a sense of grounded as they come down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to release the arms down. Just a couple more. Inhale to lift the arms away. Exhale, releasing the hands. Just do a couple more in your own time, in your own breath. So when we work this right use of energy, the Brahmacharya, it also can relate to thinking about the first and the last, the 7th chakra. So we can think about how we can cultivate a balance of energy through where the base of the spine, the first chakra sits, and that very last one at the crown of the head. So as you inhale, as you raise the arms, you might like to think about right up to the fingertips and the crown of the head. And as you breathe out, you might like to just draw the navel in slightly and think about around the base of the spine and that pelvic area. Inhale, you can think about the crown of the head and the fingertips. And exhale, the base of the spine and that pelvic region. Last one, inhale to lift. Exhale to release. Spread the arms out to T-shape or cactus arms. And we'll just do a couple of twists while we're here. So your choice, either keeping the legs bent, feet on the floor, or lifting up the legs. You're going to inhale, and as we breathe out, you're going to drop your knees over to the right side. And if it's okay, allow your head to slowly turn towards that left side. Try to feel the balance between both parts of the breath. And then slowly coming back, you can bring your head and the knees back. Inhale, and as you breathe out, knees to the left, head to the right. Take a moment to settle into that twist. And then bringing our heads back, bringing the knees back, arms down, feet to the floor. We're going to do a few rounds of our breath, and we're going to think about, again, right use of energy with the movements and with the breath. So we'll do our Dripatapitham, the flowing bridge one. So inhale, lifting up your hips, if it's okay. Lift the arms up behind you. And as you breathe out, releasing the spine, releasing the arms down from here. So we'll do 3 more. Inhale to lift, you can pause. Exhale to lower down, you can pause. Inhale to lift up the hips and the arms, you can pause. Exhale to release the arms and the spine and pause. Last one. Inhale to lift, and you can pause. Exhale to lower down, and you can pause. Hug the knees in towards the chest again, rocking from side to side, and then rolling over onto the right side of the body and coming all the way up into a comfortable seated position. For those of you that can, you might like to take a sitting on the heels position from here, or you might like cross legs, or you might like to lengthen out the legs, whatever feels right from here. Going to continue to do a little bit of breath work. This is going to set a really good intention to the rest of your practice. And again, thinking about right use of energy, same with the breath. So we're going to do a movement from here where we're going to palms facing up. You're going to inhale, raise the arms slowly so they come just above the crown of the head. Turning the palms as you breathe out, slowly releasing the hands. Feel them just below the navel area. So inhale, lifting up just above the crown of the head. Turn the palms and breathing out, releasing the hands down. Do one more. Inhale to lift. Turn the palms. Exhale to lower. This time we're going to add a few shorter pauses after the inhale and exhale. Inhale to lift. You can pause for a moment. Turn the palms and exhale to press down. And just pause for a moment. Turn the palms. Inhale to lift. Hands above the crown of the head. Turn the palms. Exhale to release down. We'll do one more. Inhale to lift, and you can pause. Turn the palms. Exhale to release down. We're going to interlock the fingers from here. And you can do it either sitting on the heels, or if you need to release the legs, that's fine. So you're going to take an inhale to lift up the arms from here. And as you exhale, press the arms out to the front. Draw the navel in and release the head. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to round over, drawing in with the navel. Inhale to lift, balancing both sides of the energy. Exhale to round over, drawing to the navel. We'll do two more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round over, drawing to the navel. Inhale to lift. Exhale, round over, drawing to the navel. And then slowly coming back to the centre, releasing the hands. A few nice shoulder rolls from here. And shoulder rolls forward. Just notice how you feel from doing that breathing. We'll do one more bit of the breath, and this time we're going to work into the thinking about extending the breath into the side parts of the body from here. So just take a moment to sit up nice and tall. And then as we inhale, we're going to extend the arms out a little bit like into a cactus arms, but a bit wider. And then slowly breathing out, coming back to the centre, bring your palms together. So take an inhale as we press and send the energy out into the sides of the body. Breathing out, bring the palms together back into the heart. We'll do three more. Inhale, open out. Exhale, draw it in to the centre of the chest. Inhale to open up. Exhale to draw it back into the centre of the chest. Last one. Inhale to open out. Exhale to draw it in. Just pause, let your hands release. Give your legs just the release of the knees, so let them just have a little bit of release. And then come over onto your all fours, spread hands, knees underneath the hips. Again, thinking about balancing out the energy with the breath with our cat stretches. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the front of the body, lift the head, gaze up. Exhale, round over, draw the navel in, gaze back through the legs. Inhale to lift up again. You can look up if it feels okay. And exhale, rounding over, gazing back through the legs. Do one more. Inhale to lift. And exhale to round over. Come back to the centre. At this point, you might want to pad your knees if you know you need a bit of extra padding. When you're ready, nice spread hands. The right leg is going to stretch away from us and give it a really good stretch. Draw the navel in and then explore lifting your left hand away. So it could be creeping the fingers out, holding it here, or it might be lifting it away, palm facing in, fingertips reaching, and have a really good stretch from here. So you don't want to lift your hip too far. Think about how we can use our right use of energy throughout the body, but also throughout the breath. And then slowly take that hand down, take that knee back underneath the hips. If you need to release the hands, then do what you need to do. When you're ready, we'll sit up for your left side. So you can extend your left leg away from you and give it a good stretch. So your choice, either foot can be active or you can relax that foot. Navel draws in, and then we'll explore the right hand lifting away. Maybe fingertips come down or extending out. So you want to think about that right use of energy. You're not stretching too much into the leg. You're not doing it too much into the arm. You're trying to get that balance just right in the body. And the same with your breath. Try to take even breaths while you're here. If you're okay, a few more moments in that pose. And then slowly bring the hands back down, bring the knees back down, sink back to child's pose, maybe press your hands out a little bit more and just be grounded to the earth. And just take a few nice easy breaths while you're in child's pose. You may like to just take this time just thinking about where in your life maybe do you need more of that Brahmacharya, so that right use of energy? Is there a part of the day where you feel very rushed off your feet, or do you feel an overload of things to do, whether your mind's active? Just see if you can be aware of that and make a conscious effort to just see if you can invite more use of that right use of energy into your life. And then slowly come back to the all fours. Nice spread hands. And we'll tuck the toes under and we'll lift the knees away and we'll press back into our downward dog. So often in downward dog, people get very caught up on trying to get the heels down. And then your arms might be taking an effect from that. You might get a tight back from that. Think about right use of energy. So it starts off with same weight in your hands and your feet. And you might need to soften the legs depending on what you're feeling in this pose. It's being aware of your own body. Be aware of your back now. If you're feeling very twingy or tight around the back, just allow yourself to bend the legs deeper so you get a lovely spreading into the back. And then nice and slowly come back down to your all fours and sink back into child's pose again. And feel the calming effects now, balancing out that more of an active pose of downward dog. Nice long, slow breaths. And then slowly lifting up, coming back to the all fours. You're going to walk your hands forward slightly of the shoulders and let yourself lower completely down to the floor. So we're going to work either in Sphinx pose or baby cobra. I always like to teach the cobra now, not coming up straight away into straight arms and locking, as that doesn't leave much room for openness. Again, right use of energy. So we're going to move up and down and use the breath to help us. So getting ready where your hands are, pressing the feet down, press the belly down. As you inhale, use that to lift you, just come into baby cobra or Sphinx. And then breathing out, lower down. And we're going to do this a few times. Inhale to lift up, not a really big movement with the head. And then exhale, lower down. Do 3 more. Inhale to lift, conserving our energy. Breathing out, lowering down. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. We're going to hold it on this third one. So inhale to lift. You may wish to start to lengthen the arms now if you're working more into that full cobra. Keep breathing from here. And then breathing out, slowly tuck the chin, lower down. Hands underneath the shoulders, and we ease back to the all fours. We're allowing our toes to start to tuck, and we press back into your downward dog. So you're going to listen to your own body from here. So the yoga helps us to become more aware of our own body and how we can use the yoga to start to just give us what we need right at that moment. So check out, do you need to bend your legs a little bit more in this moment? Do you need to lift your sit bones a little bit more? Do you need to take a little bit of weight more into your backs of the feet rather than the hands to get nice even awareness from here? And then slowly start to bend the legs coming forward. If you can, for a few breaths, just let your knees hover a few inches from the floor and then releasing. Let your feet release from here. You're going to just do a little bit of strength work into your arms from here. You're going to use your breath. So think about, again, this feeling of right use of energy, conserving our energy so that it lasts. So hands nice and spread. So as you inhale, actually no, we're going to take an inhale in all fours. And then as you breathe out, we can bend the arms and start to lower down. Inhale nice and smoothly to lift up. Exhale, bending the arms, lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Last one, inhale to lift us up. Tuck the toes under, and again, come back to your downward dog. Maybe you feel a bit stronger in the hands now so that you're able to take a little bit more weight back towards your feet. Nice long, slow breaths. And then slowly returning back to your hands and the knees. We're going to step forward with our right leg to a lunge or swap it to your warrior position if you're unable today to come to the knees. And then once we're there, we're going to lift up from here. Pad your knee if you need to. Draw into the navel. We're going to get a nice opener from here by taking our hands back and interlocking the fingers, and take a moment to gently roll back your shoulders from here. So thinking about not working too much in either part of the posture. You want to be engaging the navel, you want to be pressing down the feet and thinking about both feet. You want to be lifting your chest, and you want to think about rolling the back your shoulders. If it does work, you can come a little bit lower, and you may even be able to lift your chest a little bit higher, only if it works for the back. And then slowly releasing, hands come to the floor, tuck the toes of the back foot, and pressing back into downward dog. Alternatively, you might wish to come to child's pose. If that's what you need, try and tune into your own energy levels today and do what you really need to do. And we'll come back to the hands and the knees. It's going to be that lunge on the left side, so please swap it for your standing warrior if that's going to be better. Lifting up, padding your knees if you need to. And then once you've got your feet pressing in, navel draws in, again you can sweep the hands behind. Try and have the little bit of a different interlock of the fingers, so moving them down one more, the unfamiliar clasp, and then opening up the shoulders. And this might be enough, just holding it here. Think about using all that energy to work all the bits of the poses, pressing down of the feet. the drawing in of the navel, the lift in the chest, and finally the breath becomes nice and even. If it works for the back, you might come down a bit lower, you might lift your chest a little bit more. Nice mindful movements. And then slowly releasing the hands. You can come back from here and take a moment to come back into child's pose. Nice long slow breaths. And then pressing yourself back to a seated position. It might be on the heels or you might be crossing the legs from here. We're going to find a twist towards that right side. So that hand can go to the knee or the outside of that knee. Right hand's behind and easing into that twist. Softening the shoulder. Letting your attention move inwards. Keeping the back nice and lengthened. And then coming back to the centre. Inhale. And as we breathe out, that twist over towards that left side. Nice long, slow breaths from here. And then nice and slowly coming back to the centre. You're going to press back into your downward dog for a few breaths from here. And then nice and slowly allowing ourselves to come back to your hands and the knees. So we're going to come up into on your knees for a little bit of camel work from here. So camel is a wonderful thing to think about. Taking really good long slow breaths, conserving the energy, thinking about how slow a camel moves as well and how it conserves its water. It doesn't kind of like get rid of that all in one go. It's, it's there for the long haul, the long journey. If you're not going to do it on your knees today, no worries. You can come to a standing and you can work the same, a little softness in the knee, so that's fine as well. Do pat your knees if you need, and we'll tuck the toes from here. So we'll do a variation of a one arm lifted and one arm back first of all. So first of all, you're just going to take both hands behind you, supporting that lower back, a little bit higher up, and fingers pointing down, so lifting up the chest. If it works, you're going to raise that left arm, and then if it feels okay, you either stay here or slowly lean back, take hold of that heel, and you take a nice stretch back if it works. And slowly coming back to the centre. So you do exactly the same if you're standing as well. So this time it's going to be your opposite hand lifts. So nice and lifted first of all, we take our time. We can't rush into these back bends. And it's that whole feeling again of cultivating this awareness of just conserving and using the right use of energy for the pose. So you're going to raise your right arm. This might be enough for you. Or you might reach back to the heel. You might reach back and take a really good stretch from here. And then slowly coming back. We're going to have a go at doing both. Or if you found that that was an option, that you could reach it more doing one, then you can go for that, that's fine. Think about, again, that slowness, that conserving of energy. So hands behind you, lifting up. So you can either go for one and then the other, or leaning back, taking hold of the heels. If you can, squeezing, bit of an option, squeezing the tops of the heels so that you can roll the shoulders back and you can lift more of the chest. Either keeping the chin tucked in, or you can take the head back only if it's supported completely by the backs of your shoulders, so it's not just tensing up at all. Keep breathing from here. And then supporting the lower back or hands to the hips, and then slowly come up, lift the head up. And then we'll come back into child's pose. So if you've done it from standing, you can come through and do a nice dangle forward fold position, or if you've done the camel on the floor, then slowly let yourself fold forward from here. Nice long slow breaths. I'll read that something really nice that I read today, and it says that if you find yourself rushing or taking on too many jobs, then you should practice camel pose in the mind. So think about how you move in camel pose. You can think about the qualities of the camel, so strength and endurance to be mindful of your energy levels. So even just thinking about it in your mind can help us just to slow down and just work with the right use of energy. So nice and slowly lifting up. You're going to come to standing from here, so you can work it to a downward dog. Walking your feet forward, hands on the hips, and then we'll lift up and come all the way to standing. And just take a moment standing in your mountain posture and just feeling a little bit grounding with the feet, navel draws in, and then thinking about your crown of the head that's lifting up towards the sky. Take a few really nice easy breaths. Blink the eyes open. We'll lift up the arms and just have a nice stretch from here. Interlock your hands and you can take your palms, so just rest on the head first of all, and then lifting up, pressing the palms up from here. Have a really nice couple of breaths lifting up. As you breathe out, you're going to release the hands. You're going to interlock the fingers. You're going to inhale to lift up. Soften the knees as you exhale. Coming into a forward fold. Head nice and heavy. Press into the feet, draw into the navel. Lifting up. You're going to interlock the hands again. Press your palms forward, and as you inhale, lifting up. Take a couple of breaths, enjoy opening up the chest and the heart. Maybe some more awareness goes to the crown of the head. As you next breathe out, last time as we release the hands, interlocking the fingers, inhale to lift. And exhale, soften the knees, coming forward into a forward fold. Nice long, slow breaths. And then slowly release the hands on the hips, lifting up and coming all the way to standing from here. You're going to come to the front of the mat and we'll open our feet into a warrior position from here. So legs nice and wide. Right foot turns out, left foot forward. You're going to raise the arms, shoulder height, palm down. Inhale, and as we breathe out, sink into that hip, bending that leg, coming into your warrior position. We'll take an inhale to lift up into our reverse warrior, and then breathing out back into our warrior toe. Inhale, nice slow movements to lift up, maybe spiraling the chest up more towards the sky. Breathing out back into the warrior. Do one more. Inhale to lift. And exhale back to that warrior toe. Hands on the hips, lengthen that leg, feet to the front. We'll open out with your left side now, so that right foot is forward. And raise the arms, gaze towards that left side. Inhale, and as we breathe out, bending into that leg. We're going to spend a couple of breaths, warrior toe. And then as you next inhale, back hand comes down, left arm lifts for your reverse. And then breathing out, back into your warrior toe. Inhale to lift up, using good use of energy and breath. Breathing out, back into warrior toe. One more, inhale to lift up. And exhale, back into warrior toe. Hands on the hips, we can start to lengthen that leg, feet to the front. Make sure that we're going to come forward and do a twist from a forward bend movement. So if you've got, hands can't reach the floor, let your brick and your prop be there to support you. Inhale, and as you breathe out, soften the knees, hinging forward, and we'll come into our forward fold from here. You can bend the arms if it works and lower your head down towards the earth. And then lifting up from here. So we're going to twist towards the right side, so your left hand comes to the centre or slightly forward. Right hand on the hip as we open up. And then if it works, lifting up the arm and take a nice breath from here. Inhale, and as you breathe out, coming back to the centre, swapping hands, right hand down, left hand on the lower back, twisting towards that left side, raising that arm up. You're going to come back to the centre. We're going to do it a few more times, but match it up with a breath. Inhale to lift, exhale will be to lower back down. So it's going to be your left hand comes down. Inhale to lift up into that twist to the right. Exhale, lower down, swapping hands. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Nice mindful movements. Last ones. Inhale to the right side. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, twisting towards that left side. Exhale to lower down. Fold in between the legs for a few breaths. Hands on the hips. Then we'll slowly lift up. Come all the way to standing. Heel toe your feet back in. And just come back to the front of the mat. Going to take a nice roll down. If it works for the back, if it doesn't, hands on the hips will work just as fine. So separating the feet slightly, chin tucking in, nice relaxed arms, soft knees. And slowly start to release the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. And you feel lovely sense of release. And when you can't go anymore, you can come down, you can find your Uttanasana, forward fold. And just feel that you've got that right balance of energy so that your legs are not working too hard. There's not a lot of shaking or, sometimes you work too much, you've got too much strength that's going on. So nice, even energy, and the same with your breath. And then slowly bending the legs and coming down to the floor. We're going to lengthen out the legs from here. Going to do a nice little bit of movement, working with the breath and thinking about that right use of energy. If you've got tight muscles in the back of the legs, feel free to bend the legs for this one or support something underneath the legs. Going to interlock the fingers, index finger pressing and your thumbs crossing. So you're going to reach up the arms. So if that doesn't work as well, just be very cautious of your back. You don't want to hurt your back in this one, so don't go too far. So as you inhale, you come forward. And as you breathe out, you draw into the navel as you lift the arms, come back. Inhale to come forward. Breathing out, lifting up, drawing into that navel. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, drawing into the navel to lift back up. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, drawing into the navel to lift up. Two more, nice flow of energy. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lifting up, drawing into the navel. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lifting up. Release the arms and then separate your legs now. So your legs are nice and wide and do support. Sit on a block if you need to, or a blanket, or even bending the legs or supporting underneath the legs is absolutely fine. So nice and lifted from here. And we're going to make that gesture again. Interlock fingers, index finger pressing, and your thumbs crossing. So you're going to start to come forward from here. Again, mind your back. Don't go too far in it if it doesn't work for the back. So you're going to start to go over towards that right side. As you breathe that draw into the navel, as you start to then move and come over to that left. So inhale to come forward and round. And then breathing out, drawing into the navel to come back, as if you were doing a stirring action. So inhale to come forward and round. Breathing out to come back, drawing the navel in. Inhale, and you want a nice balance of both energies. So we're not working too hard to come forward or too hard to come back. So really nice release in your hips, this one. And it's also good for your lower back as well. Remember what way you went and then we'll go the other way. Inhale, breathing out to come round. Inhale to come round, breathing out as you draw the navel in. We'll do a few more from here. Rounding over. And inhale to come round. Rounding, drawing in and then coming all the way up. Just let your legs just cross for a moment and just notice that balance of energy. So when you go backwards and forwards and when you even out the breath, it has a really good feeling of creating just a sense of balancing out the energy. So when you're ready, releasing the legs and you're going to come all the way down to the floor from here. I'm going to finish off a little bit of work into our bow pose. So another nice position that's going to think about back bends, back conserving energy, using right amount of energy, which is so important in the back bends. So what we're going to start off from here is you can just fold the arms first of all. You're going to bend your right leg, you make that foot nice and active, and then if it works, take your hands behind, either reaching the hands back or interlocking the fingers, and then as you inhale, slowly lifting your head, lifting the chest. You get a lovely openness in your chest and your shoulders, and then slowly releasing back, take the hands back, lengthen the leg. We'll do the left one, so the left one bends, you make that foot nice and active. You can either stay here or interlocking the fingers, pressing if it feels good, lifting up from here. Nice, long, slow, calm breaths. And it's really good to open your chest and the heart. Slowly release the arms. We're gonna, this time if that worked better, we can work it there, or right leg bends, left arm comes out in front. And we reach around from here, and we can either make that foot active or hold on to that foot. If it feels good, press the foot. You can lift the chest, you can lift more of your thigh away if it feels good. And then breathing out, lower down, releasing, swapping arms. Right arm bends, left leg bends. Sweeping round with that hand again, either make that foot active and pressing up, or take hold of the front of the foot and take an inhale to lift. Keep breathing from here if it works. Lift the front of the thigh and lifting up a little bit higher from here. And then breathing out, lower down, release the arms. Take a couple of moments breath. And then we'll have a go at doing both legs. Think about that feeling of cultivating a nice feeling of right use of energy. Bending both legs, reaching back. You can either work it here, make the feet active, or relax the feet. Take hold of the feet. You can keep it nice and low, or start to lift the chest, or you can press the feet in. You can allow your thighs to lift from here. Take a nice, good few breaths. Think about cultivating right use of energy. Come down when you need to. And then we'll all come down. Release the feet, release the legs. Hands underneath the shoulders. Pressing back to the all fours. And slowly making yourself back into your child's pose. Nice, long, slow breaths. Just letting your head rest now. Counterbalancing that action of an energising back bend. And without disturbing the body too much, coming back, swinging the legs out in front, bending the legs, reaching the arms up and coming all the way down to the floor. And once you're down, hug the knees in towards the chest. Really let your back press in towards the earth. Take your feet to the floor, spreading the arms to the side. Inhale, and then as you breathe out, drop your knees to the right side, head to the left. Pause there for a few breaths. And then coming back to the centre, inhale, and as you breathe out, drop your knees to the left, head to the right. Slowly coming back, if it works for the back, lifting the legs this time, and then breathing out, knees to the right, head to the left. And then bringing yourself back, head and knees back to the centre, inhale. And as you breathe out, legs to the left, head to the right. Use your inhale to come back to the centre, placing the feet down, release the arms. And if it's right for the back, then let your legs release. And we'll finish off in our Shavasana, so make yourself nice and comfortable. Let the arms rest down, tucking chin in slightly, nice long neck. And allowing our eyes to close. Being aware of our energy, how it may be of is changed now through that yoga practice and that breathing. Feeling a shift of energy and feeling that you've taken into your practice the intention of how we can cultivate right use of energy. Nice long, slow breaths. Notice your own body. Be aware of any feelings or sensations that you have right now. Aware of maybe that balance of energy of the first and the last chakra. So being aware of the base of the spine, around that pelvic area. Thinking about maybe your legs and the feet and a sense of just feeling grounded and letting go. And then being aware of the crown of your head, even the attention above the crown of the head. And feeling a sense that even though we're grounded, we are in tune with maybe a higher awareness, a higher consciousness that we can tap into, we can work with. And just feeling that you've created that balance between both, and that is what is needed. So let the breath become very soft and light. Just letting go and relaxing the muscles more on every exhale. Start to be aware of the breath again. And if you've got time, if the body needs to rest for longer, then just have as long as you need so that the body can fully rest from that practice. But if you're ready to move, let yourself take a few deeper breaths and feel that the breath just allows you to be more present and more aware. Thinking about slow movements in the body, fingers wriggle, toes wriggle. We might like to take a stretch with the arms, take a good stretch from here. And then let the arms rest down by the sides of the body. Start to bend the knees, hug the knees in and drawing them in. And just having a slow rock from side to side. And when you're ready, roll over onto the right side of the body. And in a slow manner, mindful manner, just coming all the way up to a nice, comfortable seated position. And just let your hands rest wherever they need to be. Don't change them, but if you found that the palms are facing up, this has invited more energy into you. And if you found that you've naturally placed the palms down, then that's more of a grounded feeling. So if you tune with that, that's often our body, it tells us what it needs. We just need to listen to it a little bit more. So taking those themes of how we can work with that Brahmacharya, so right use of energy. It's non-excess as well. So it's things such as we can think about in our life if we find that we hold things, that we have too much of something. That's another area of that. So working with that is a great thing as well. That will help to balance the energy. Take a few nice breaths from here. Just leave you a really nice quote from the Yamas and the Yamas book I've got. And it says, Brahmacharya reminds us how to enter each day and each other with a sense of holiness rather than indulgence. When you're ready, just bring your palms together, let your palms come in towards your chest, the heart centre. Take a soft bow down. Let your eyes gently blink open. And as you inhale, lift your head, lift your heart. Namaste. Hope the effects of your practice stay in the rest of your day and also let them filter out into the rest of the week with you. Take care and I'll see you soon.